how to set up a MIDI loopback, but it's not using the IAC driver. We're going to actually do it with our MioXM today, but you can do it with any of the iConnectivity interfaces. And basically, we're just going to do it through the USB dock connection. I'm going to do it on my MioXL, but I've also done another video that you can see doing this over network, over RTP network. Now, a lot of people I know are using this for tracks. They're sending out of a track and looping back the MIDI to another track, to their locators inside of their DAW, to stop, start, whatever they want. And this will help automate your system. You can also use this to go between software. So if you want to go, say, from Ableton over to Logic, or Pro Tools to Ableton, however you want to do that, you can definitely make that happen. But I'm going to show you how to set up the loopback, and it'll be a fairly painless experience. I'm going to use Ableton as the experience, as the option today. So I've created a little MIDI track in here with completely random notes into it. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to take the first MIDI track and we're going to record it into the second MIDI track. I think that's probably the easiest way to show you that it's working or not. And I'm just going to turn off the input on the first MIDI track, so we have just output on the, we're just going to have just output on the first track and just input on the second track. But let me set you up with that information. So we're in Oracle for X Series. I'm going to go to my MioXM. We're going to go to MIDI routing. So basically what we want to do is we're using the USB dock connection. So this is the USB B port on the front right of your MioXM or MioXL. And so we can use any of these ports, but I would probably just use one of these RSV ports. So the RSV stands for reserved. They're just MIDI ports on that connection that don't have any current routing. So we can name them what we want, we can do what we want with them. So in my example, I'll just call it MIDI loop. And I think that's probably the easiest way. If you want this name to actually show up in your DAW, you'll have to do a rescan in MIDI Studio. We have other knowledge base articles and information on that and video on that if you need that. But for now, we're just going to show you how to make this happen. So basically what we want to do is we want to send out to this MIDI loop port, and then we want the MIDI loop to come right back in. So this is all the routing that you need to do. Now everything's done just within that one little click here. So anytime you do that, we want to go to presets. We're going to hit save. I like to save as all presets so it doesn't accidentally get changed and mess up your routing. So that's saved to the device, and now we just need to configure it. So I'm going to go into Ableton here. We're going to go to the out of this MIDI track, and we're going to want to go to configure. And for some reason all these ports are already selected. I'm just going to deselect some of these ports just so we don't have to see them. Alright, so RSV1, remember, is the one that we wanted. So I'm going to take input for the secondary track on RSV1, and I'm going to need output from the same port. So let me go down until I find output, RSV1, track. Now we're just doing track. If you're trying to trigger your transport control, you'll also need remote. So let's go to our first option here. Let's go and select our output as RSV1. And on the second track, we're going to select our input as RSV1. So now that we've done that, we can go ahead and we're just going to but alright. And then we're just gonna hit record. And you can already kind of see it happening, but the MIDI data is coming in over here on the second track. So we went out of the first track and recorded it into the second track. So you see on the first track, the first note is D3. We go down here, the first note is D3, and you can see it's right on that one. So it's very quick to loop back through. That's all there's to it. So it's just one little routing like that, and like I said, I do have the RTP network version of this happening for those people who are on network setups. If you have any questions or concerns, let me know.